Okay, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. I want to say, just quickly, I want to say, okay, thank you for coming back to this channel again. I put, a lot of work into what I'm doing on here, in everything, in showing you guys, just, just, just sharing what I love, my passions. So martial arts, art, and animation. I'm working hard on my animation, as you know, I do a lot of work trying to get better at my art and full production and animated shows which I make. Hand drawn 2D mostly, my short films and my collaboration on other people's films too. My music, which I make multiple different genres of music. I write books, I share philosophy about nature, and I teach martial arts, which I've been training, all my life also. Because these have all been my passions really, especially art and martial arts since I was young. Anyway, in this video, I want to just quickly say something while I'm here. It's morning, okay? I just made a kung fu basic talk slash. I was sharing some knowledge, put it that way. Another kung fu video with you for you guys. I hope really people can benefit. Talking about the way of the sword through the hands, through the body, through positioning, and that's a martial art video that I really hope everybody can enjoy. Okay, I really do. But listen, I want to just say to you guys, okay, that in this video, I want to just talk about money for a moment. Okay? Do you know what money is? Do you know what money is? It's a distraction. That's what society is. I've said before, society is, whatever you call it, culture, whether it's modern or ancient ideas, it's just ideas. That's all it is. People really, it's just behavior of people. So culture and all that and society, it's not actually real. We have our own cultures, everybody. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm me and you're you. That's just a fact. I'm me and you're you. It's not a battle. We just exist. Shouldn't be a battle involved. And I am my people and you are your people. What does that even mean? Everybody is individual. You may say a group of people maybe look the same because they've been born in different parts of the world or they have different, what I mean, like biologically different in their body, how they look. But ultimately, excuse me, we're different people. We're not all the same. So the only thing we have in common, you could say, apart from that, is just shared views and shared ideas. What are they? What are the shared views and ideas? There's still a mixed bag. It's still not totally that. You may say on the whole, on the basic level, they're all the same. And you say, that. But ultimately, all of you could take humanity and say, look at this mixed bag of culture. It's the human culture. We have a different culture, human beings, to, let's say, the life of dolphins. You know what I mean? Who are also very intelligent animals, I hear. And if we were to have like a Mars attacks situation, if we were to have an alien exploration of this planet, they'd probably be seeing that we've got a different culture as a human species. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll give you an example. We are a human species, okay? But we have differences, and it's really down to the individual psychology, how much we know or think we know, and how much we're deluded and confused. How productive we are, or how negative and violent we can be, and how naturally just normal and peaceful we can be. That's the whole human society. It's like your whole family. Everybody in your family is different. It's one family, right? Even two households, like two brothers that grow up, they're from the same family, and they've both got like their own families now, and they're older. Each household's completely different. That guy's kids are like just insane or whatever. It's wild. I mean, and the other family's like peaceful or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? But these two brothers are different too. But you can't blame necessarily the brothers. as though the father of the household is, or the mother or whatever is, the government, and you know what I mean, of this land. And so everybody's going to protest because of the president, or the family's going to go crazy because of the father or the mother. Look, at the end of the day, we haven't got to be at war. We haven't got to be killing each other. Whether we've been put into the army and made to fight with guns or whatever it might be, by law or whatever you want to call it, and all that rules, or whether it's just savage acts of just beastly people living in the caves and forests, and they've not even, like prehistoric man. Same thing. A pack of wolves or wild chimpanzees beating each other up. At the end of the day, we are individuals and we should be in control of this mind and this body. If someone's going to threaten us, to hurt us, or take our food, then you've got to defend. Right? But it's like ideas and like worrying what people think, or I belong to this group or this idea or those. It can be absolutely misleading, and you cheapen yourself to do so. Ultimately, we are just a human race. And, if you looked at the whole planet, that is basically, again, another little family household or another culture, if you like, a country of culture. It doesn't even matter what generation. You can look back in the Victorian times or ancient times and you'll see that things were different, but they're not much different from now, really. People are still the same. When the greed kicks in, I want the ancient jewel. I want that. Or two girls fighting over a flower in an ancient forest somewhere. You know what I'm trying to say? Or the king wants the greatest rock from the mountain. Bring it down for me, you know what I mean? You can't settle for a smaller rock or whatever, this kind of thing. And like in the modern day, you'll have some rampage over people beating each other up, sometimes pulling guns out. I've seen videos in fast food restaurants because they've been given the wrong order food. Or, or robbing people for a mobile phone or a fucking PlayStation, you know what I mean? Or a pair of fucking shoes, the latest expensive sneakers and signed by the top sports players in the world. And what's that? There's people that haven't even got shoes, man. It's an ego, it's an image. It's not even real. Trust me, I'm not someone sitting here who's got it all. I'm not someone sitting here telling you this because I've got a whole fucking room full of the most expensive gear and all that, and they're like, I'm telling you here because it's nothing, man. I've seen two sides. It's not that. I'm telling you now, I've seen this side. I've seen not having. They say like when it's like people getting addicted to something and they want more and more of it, So it's like, but it never ends. You have less and less. The more you always want, you always have less. You always want more, you always have less. It's like, so it's like for me, I'm coming from a place where I've had so little, but I've been able to appreciate myself and what I'm able to do productively with what I have. Like, so when I'm doing my art here, I've got this computer screen, I'm doing my digital artwork. I love doing it. That's amazing. If I had a piece of paper, I'd just draw on a piece of paper. Many, many years I've been doing that. And the limitations that I've had in my life, I've lived in a life that you can't even imagine. I've lived like we're talking years upon years. Okay, if you can't go 10, let alone 20. I've been nearly 18. I'm just saying for you, okay, I'm 41, but let's just imagine, like, could you go 10 years like in solitary confinement, more or less? I'm saying without anyone around, just by yourself, literally walking with like no, like, you can't imagine. I'll put it that way. If you was in a position, so you don't know what I've been through. So if you was in a situation where you had your health and your mind, you had food and you had a roof over your head, but there was no one who spoke your language at all, day in, day out, for let's say 10 years, give you an example, in all kinds of environments, weather and all the rest of it, and then you was made to do different things and you had to be basically like a slave, and you had to give money, all of your wages, and all your documentation, everything about you was just under control, and you were under, what do you call it, like almost like house arrest. So, but you was allowed to go out of the house for a while, like almost like yard time, like a prison sort of thing, and you've not done anything wrong, and you had no way of controlling that. You just literally had to, provide for other people that weren't even really per se your family, that weren't really there for you as much as the basics, but they gave you a place to live. You'd be so lucky you'd realize what lucky is in life when you got safety, when you got shelter, just the basics, a light bulb, electricity on, water, food, a bed to sleep on, and you're like, really? And I'm seeing things on the news about immigrants and people saying they want to travel across the world because they want a better life and all this. My fuck, it just blows my mind. Sorry, excuse my language. So I value the small things when there's nobody around, whether I'm in a room or whether I'm just walking around in, like, you see my ancient videos, you know what I'm talking about, me walking in the snow, walking up the mountains and stuff. Yeah, you'll know. Then you start to realize really who you are, the who you are in the what you are. Before you can know who you are as a member of the human society, as one of the human society. I'm not a member of this federation. I mean, you need to know what you are, the living creature, the living being of the self. We're just like an animal. We're all like animals, but it's like we are more than the meat and the flesh. We could say there's more potential to the human being. You might call it spirit, but it's the inner being. But it's like it's who we are in every level of the true self of what we are, the power of what we are. So I do things that please me. I work with whatever I can. If there's nobody around, I know that every conversation I have with people, even though I'm learning from people and gaining from my experiences in the world, I know that it's always me looking in the mirror. I know it's me talking to myself, trying to hear what I like, what I don't like, what I agree with, what I don't agree with. Find answers to what I want to know. You know what I mean? Asking questions about what I think I understand or to some degree, but want to know more about. It's always me, me, me. Everything in the world that I experience is always my relation to it and how I experience it and how I'm trying to understand it. So it's me constantly. And if I weren't walking on that beach, listening to the waves, I might be walking in a forest talking to a tribal man. Friendly or not, I don't know, the guy, but I might be in a futuristic building up in space somewhere. I don't know, it could be anywhere. You could be talking with your family at home healthily or arguing, or you could be in hospital, ill or maybe dying. So let's face it. What do we have? It's not about the name brands, the fancy clothes you wear. I don't care. I see videos about people talking about how much they've got, bragging about how much they've got. Real estate, whatever their terms, expensive. They've got their own planes and jets and all the cars and houses and mansions you can imagine. It means nothing if you don't have peace of mind. And it's for times when when things don't go your way, whether you're someone who's really poor, really like living in troubled times, you can't lose your mind and body. That's your riches and power. That's the road to home. And that's the home from where all roads lead to. You have got to be the home. You need to be it. The heart of self, the self of heart, because that's basically it, That's all there is. Because even for the richest people in the world, when they have hard times, same thing. They've got to fall back on something because they've got nothing. In those moments, they feel they've got nothing. That's why they're depressed and unhappy. So it's not going to be found in poisoning the self with alcohol. You might think it's a distraction. Smoking, taking drugs, drinking loads of alcohol, hanging around, being in places or people, or being around wild things, even crazy, whatever it might be, things that you do to escape. But you never escape this world. When you never, if you're trying to escape yourself, you need to come to the self and escape and just be free from anything that you are not made for and it's not made for you. Productive with the power you are. You can only be productive in your power if you have power in yourself and not let it dissipate out in the world. Worldly matters. And you can only then have power if you're productive with it, so to speak, too. I'm a good cook, but I don't cook any food. Well, where's the power of the cooking? Just inside, like knowledge, like a question in my head, never asked. You got to work it. So you got to work it into one. The action and the being and the action. This is what Kung Fu is. This is what life throughout martial arts must say. So the true life, the reality on this one little planet in space, in the universe, maybe multiverse, who knows, in this universe again. The big ultimate scheme of things, the whole thing, even without using the word scheme, the ultimate, all of it, phenomena, right? We are here, small as we are, in the atoms, cells, and quarks of the quantum, whatever it is, energy that we're made of. We are a mixture of ingredients, but we are these human beings, and we're simple as we are. We need to enjoy the big experience of what it means, if there's any meaning to ourselves in ourselves. If we repeat just what we think we know about the world to ourselves in our mind, like words, it's not always the way. We have to experience for ourselves how we feel and how does that flower smell? Pretty nice. So the violence should stop, all the violence in the world, all the greed, the jealousy, the begging. That's what it is, begging. Even when you stand up to people and show you're tough or show that edge, or walking down the road with some swagger. I don't want to look like a bum, man, so I spend all my money on some expensive clothes. You're still selling yourself. Everything you do because you care about respect, you say. But what does that mean? Why do you care about people, how they look at you? A lot of people are brainwashed in their ideas and views anyway. Why can't people just respect people for who they are? They don't know your mind. Just by looking at you, they don't even know you. So even if someone looks at you and respects you, that's not true respect. It comes from knowing your mind. But if your mind's not really your mind, then who is there inside? What is there inside? You just literally are painted, are you just literally a shell advertising for the kind of styles and things in the out? Are you literally just regurgitating, what do you call it, giving back like what the world gives you? This is the in thing. Okay, I'm going to dress up like that. Look, I'm part of the in thing. Where's you? Don't you matter unless you're part of that? It's just a uniform. Whatever idea you're trying to convey, express some kind of style. What is that? What about express self without expression? Just be the self. Says a lot. I said some things are said best without words. It's like less words, and the picture is worth a 1,000 words. Right? But I'm just saying, but it's like truly, like if you might say nothing, silence, you might say so much by doing nothing. When you step back and create an empty void of eternal nothingness, it's like that's an infinite space for possibility, silence, and a clear piece of paper. It's like it's a space now for infinite possibility. But while you're busy doing this, thinking that, and saying this, and that, and so many things, time's passing in your life, and you're not getting anything done. And people will always, whether you are at the bottom or at the top, there will always be people that value you or don't value you. There will always be people that also think they know you, and so they value you or they don't value you. But it's really they're looking for themselves, ultimately. Again, it's what they're doing. They're looking for themselves based on their own ideas. What kind of things motivate them? What kind of things disgust them? So this is why they follow certain people or they'll reject certain people. And the idea of what true richness is or true power and all this, it's a delusion. It's not even real. It's fake. So you might care if people disrespect you, people don't respect you, I should say, in the way they look at you or the way they talk about you, because it leads to bigger things. It might be a threat where someone might attack you or in a group. But cross bridges when you come to them. The most important thing is like, I wouldn't care about what people think. They can go and screw them. I'm not bothered about what people think. No, I'm not bothered. I understand myself. My respect is worth gold. My respect for myself, my value in myself, does not come when I squander it. Does not come when I try and show people I've got respect for myself, so I'm going to tell you what I think. No, I'm not going to waste my energy and time to even breathe standing there. I'll let them put on their swaggy show, and I'll just walk away. I'm focused on what I value my life for, not telling them. I believe in myself. I've got to prove it to you. Who the hell are you anyway? I understand myself. Be resourceful. You can't be resourceful with anything unless you're resourceful with yourself first, and that has to be at the heart. That's got to be practice. So it's more and more innate, that part of your being. So, Kung Fu is body and mind, as I said, body and mind. So the mind is what we're talking about here for life. So, not fighting like you're a survivor. Survivors don't need to fight. Winners don't even need to keep like trying to win. You're just a winner already. You're a winner in the face of losing. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, it's like the mountain is conquering the man who's trying to climb it. I'm going to conquer you, mountain. I'm not afraid of you. And he's using up all of his energy, burning to climb to the top of this mountain. When he gets to the top of the mountain, you know, he sees the top of the mountain peak's view, the level of the mountain. That mountain shows what level it is. And the mountains use no energy, and you've just exhausted yourself. What do you gain from it is the main thing. You get a view. Hopefully you get a view and a vision to then do more in life. Maybe be more like the mountain, you know. Be more like the Tao, just nature existing, truth. That's doing nothing, but it is the power of all. And it's in connection with everything, so it is the power of the universe. The knowledge of all the, let's say, the good books, the greatest books, is there to be used in a very unique way. To ride the horse across this plain, you can drive the car down that road, but the universal knowledge of all, it's there for you now to work in a functional way, to read from and learn and work with the mind and body. But you don't, because you're distracted by the crap they keep putting out in the news, the media, or what gossip's going on around you in a job and all that, and you're bringing yourself into bad mental and physical health. And then you're doing other things like addictions and habits and things that's bad for you too. It's not about money. Money's nothing. Let me just finish this video with another main point. Good point. Money is nothing. You need to be earning from another human being. What? Money. Most people, a lot of people, have more time than money, even if they're busy. But what they're doing is they're wasting their time away. They're squandering their time away of life because they're doing it for money. And you may have more time than money, and I can prove it to a lot of people too. There are people that complain about how much money they've spent recently, and there are people that complain about how much money they spent last year on all the bills and everything, even just the basic stuff, the bills and everything combined. Whether you've been spending money on holidays and cruises, whether you've been spending money on fancy restaurants or new clothes or whatever it might be, or new anything, or loads of alcohol, whatever it is you've been squandering money on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Even the bills, even just survival, food, and electricity and water, and cost of living, renting a place, wherever, the money you've had the last year, maybe the year before, I'm guessing too, you've lived. Money, if you had that money now, it couldn't bring back those days that have gone by. The time has gone. So the money, you've had money all this time. How much money you spent was how much money you had. And how much time you spent also, how much time you had. But how much money you've spent, well, that's what you had. You had all that money and you got rid of it. But let's say you are still here, is what the point is. You are still alive. How is your mindset? Are there changes you can make to get more free time, first and foremost, or to do more valuable things with your free time, as opposed to bickering with others, showing off, being so worldly that you're not of the self, being so full of ego that you're not of the natural world, being a product of society, advertising to become part of what you want to become part of something else. Choosing battles constantly, trying to become part of this, part of that, putting on the uniform. When you put on a uniform act, it's as though you're putting on a prison outfit, you know what I mean? Yeah, a camouflage, I guess. When the bullets are flying, like in army battle, same thing. It's like you speak a certain way and try and act flash, act cocky like the other people, because otherwise you're going to be seen as weak and all this. A lot of people cannot seem to accept the self through fear that other people won't accept them, not realizing that there are people in the world who have more strength in seeing themselves. And most people are just followers, sheep. The sheep of the world. Who are they? Have you seen them? How many people do you know? Well, we're all parts of this. We're all part of this is the world. So a lot of people are like that. You need to understand your time needs to be valued and your health needs to be valued. I'll say thank you for listening to this video. It's 26 minutes long already. It's pretty long, really. It was going to be a couple of minutes long only, this video. It was going to be a really short video. This was going to be originally. And my point is you should be resourceful. You shouldn't be resentful and jealous and hateful and angry, or and that you can have a better life, and it doesn't always mean having exactly what everybody else has. There's people out there spending money on this, that, upgrading their phones and all this. They want to get the latest stuff, but it's like not much different from the previous one. It's like, what the heck? Or people that have got technology and gear, but they don't know how to use it. They just have it for the sake of having it. What happened to the human mind? What happened to doing things? Maybe I'm old school like that. But you go to some fancy restaurant. Are you getting good food? That's the question. Now, what the heck are you doing? What are you doing? Hanging out, socializing, going out for a drink. What do you mean? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? What are they doing when you're there with them? The people you're around, what do they talk about? Think about their faces, think about what they act like. What is the meaning in life? Just being part of this routine until one day you retire and you give up and you look back and go, oh no, my body's packing in. Yeah. You've been talking about money the whole time. You've been talking about the government, the politics. You've been talking about the other people gossiping. You've been talking about the money you've had to spend and all this your whole life. What moments have you enjoyed? Well, I've got a few kids. They've moved out. Can you even remember a real happy moment? Or a moment where you didn't have to think about all this stress and other things? How much stress, can you even differentiate in your mind now how much stress is coming from things that is there anything you don't need to be thinking about? Most of the stuff you're going to tell yourself that you do need to be thinking about it. And that's all there is to life. It's just a fog. And someone like me would be a daydreamer, saying, no, you can just enjoy yourself like a kid, right? Imagination. But no. Some of the wisest people who lived the best lives were ones who had a powerful imagination, was able to disconnect from nonsense, and really took care of their mental and physical ability by just finding inspiration in creation, in action of the human life. Not, I'm going to walk your road and let everybody know what's what. I'm going to make more money than everybody. That's nothing. That's literally nothing at all. You need money to live because of society, and that's the way in a city, for example, that's the way the city is run, the laws. But if you don't understand the human life inside your body right now, your heart doesn't know anything about money. The mind knows money, but the heart knows to function and the blood going around your body. You have to understand these concepts of nature, these points of true nature, before you can do anything at all with your life. Anything with any meaning. Meaning without any so as to let people know this. No. Just meaning in action and how you feel. They say seeing is believing, but feeling is the truth. Thank you for watching.